Look for the
Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities
old André Tourigny's recipes
that bring the bare necessities of life.
All right, welcome into another edition of Bear Necessities from PHNX Sports. I'm sitting here with Coyotes coach André Tourigny, and now I'm going to turn the topic to something that a lot of fans like to talk about. A lot of fans are apparently knowledgeable about defensive zone coverage. So I want to talk, André. First of all, I think a lot of people, when they would look at your system, would say it's man-on-man, but I don't think you call it quite that. How would you term what it is you do in the defensive
It's
zone?
totally the reverse.
Yeah.
We're exactly not man-on-man.
Yeah.
That's there's in the league. I will say in the past, so last year they had about 25 teams who maybe were man-on-man, and a few teams who were playing a zone where one of the team will play a zone. There's two type of a zone. You have a zone who's really a full zone coverage. When the puck go at the blue line, it's really quadrant, and two defensemen come back in the net, and the low forward, if you want, take the high F3, and that's really a zone. Us, we played the hybrid, which is all but maybe 3 or 4 team play. Is on the low high, we're boxing out, so we're man on man. We're not a team who bring who just come back at the net. We're boxing out, so that's a little bit different. The team who play a total zone, when they play, they just bring their two defensemen on each post. What's that? The difference and the reason why is that really when the pucker cross the hash mark with the puck climbing towards the blue line, those things, if the defenseman applying pressure, is coming back at the net right away. Mm-hmm. So that create a zone a little bit above the hash mark where you give up time and space. That's the advantage of their system, is when the puck go low high, there's two defensemen at the net. The inconvenience is you give that time and space at the hash mark, and during the time you do that rotation, if there's a shot on net or a quick puck on net, there's a 2-on-1 at the net for a certain time, which we don't want to allow. So that's why we have a kind of an hybrid only for the low high situation. Us, if example our defenseman's chasing the guy at the hash mark, he will stay with him. So on the low high, that will be his guy on the box out. So it looks similar, but that's the little bit the difference. The rest, we play a zone. Our winger, they're not following the defenseman. When the defensemen are moving, we call that building a wall. We're holding the play on the outside, and we're playing our quadrants instead to creating movement.
Is this a system that you took from the Q or the O? What's the genesis of this?
Yeah, that's a long time. I played a man-on-man before, and after I played a zone, and when I went to Colorado, we played man-on-man. And what happened on the man-on-man, if you're in term of talent not above your opponent, it's tough to kill the play. You need to be able to win your one-on-one battle. You need to be able to create a stop. If not, you spend too much time in your zone. So for some team, example, when we're in Colorado, our decor was adequate, was not an elite. So we were spending so much time in our zone that we were wearing ourselves down, and that affect our offense and that affect the morale of your offensive player. So when I went back in junior, I thought that should play differently, and I study a lot of system. And what happened in the zone coverage is there's different way to play it. The way we play it, we're really aggressive to create a second quick, to create every pressure situation, having a chance to unman the opponent to recover pucks instead to leave the one-on-one battle. Because at the end of the day, if you leave the one-on-one battle, you give time and space. So us, we build with studying other team a system where we can be really aggressive and kill plays as much as possible. Not related with your personal. If you have the best defenseman in the world, okay, he can kill the play by himself. It's fine. But when you don't, when you have your third pairing D, they still can play the same hour system and kill play down low, creating some some situation where it's a trigger for us to create a second quick to double up and recover pucks.
Yeah, I want to get to that in a minute. You just highlighted some of the advantages of the system. Are there any others before we move on to maybe some of the risks?
Yeah, for us, it's really to be able to kill possession.
Yeah.
And when the team wants to possess the puck against us, they need to make plays. It not one play. They need to make a few plays. Which, example, if you look at Keller's line last year, which I said before, they were about 25 teams were playing. They were creating that ice cycling, that movement, which you do against a man-on-man, and you possess the puck for a long time, and you end up creating confusion. We don't want that, and that for me our thought process started when the Blackhawks were at their peak. They were creating a rotation with their defensemen on top, and Kane was skating up the wall.
Yeah.
Their idea was, if you want, cutting in the slot, so dragging the winger with him. So Kane was taking that space, and now they had the puck forever. They were in your zone. They were never getting out. So that's why we don't vacate that space. If Kane climbed the wall, our wingers stay there, so Kane cannot cut inside. He can make a pass maybe, but he cannot take the middle of the ice. So we limit the movement of the opponent by doing that. And if you look at the tendency in the league, like I said, last year they were about 25 teams. Now it's a little bit less than half and half. There's maybe about 12 teams who play a man-on-man. Everybody else switched to a zone. There's hybrid and standard D zone, but whatever, there's now really heavy on the zone. And I knew that will happen because now with the activation of the defenseman, if you play a man-on-man, it creates confusion in your zone.
What are some of the risks inherent in this system? Where can it break down?
In our system?
Yeah, where can it break down?
The breakdown is when you cannot create the trigger pressure situation where you want to create your second quick, but that's the breakdown. If you're not that aggressive, if they have full control, you should be in good position and should be fine. The biggest mistake, the common mistake, is when your winger is too low to allow their guys to take the middle of the ice. So we want to make sure we keep them on the outside. The strong side of winger has to be high enough so he can keep the play on the outside. And in order to do that, the winger has to be confident in what's going on behind him.
Yeah, I want to stick with that for a minute because I think when a lot of people see the mistakes, right? They can see where it breaks down. So when they're watching that, it's not always the system. It's usually not the system. It's the personnel that are making the mistakes, right? Not making the right read or not being in the right position.
Yeah, but our system, the breakdown they see in the D zone is when we have the puck. Because I will challenge anybody to look when we don't have the puck. We study our system all the time. We're pretty stingy. The problem is when you recover pucks, now you're in breakups. No, you're not in defense. I compare, often there's a big mistake the people make in a hockey is, you're in your zone, you're in defense. Oh yeah? So if Tom Brady has the ball at the line of 1 yard of his goal line, he's playing defense?
Yeah.
No, he's not playing defense, he's playing
possession.
offense. It's the same thing. When we are in the breakout, we're in the offense. And that, if you turn the puck over there, it's my same example than Tom Brady. If you turn the ball over in his red zone and in his zone, it's a great opportunity to score for the opponent. It's the same thing in hockey. If our biggest breakdown are from our breakouts in our zone, then we can cut off position. But that's a transition between defense and offense. Where's our breakdown. It's not as much when the opponent has possession for 7-8 seconds to 30 seconds. That is now example. If you take the first goal of the second period against the Rangers when they were 2 minutes in our zone, they were defensively were fine until we turned the puck over 3 times.
Okay.
When we turn it over, now you get wear down, and now there's no system.
So you're not seeing issues then when you mentioned the wing staying high enough or any reads, bad reads or breakdowns, like on a consistent basis.
There will always be every game.
But it's not a consistent problem.
No.
Okay.
No, it's really not. You will have breakdown every game. In every situation, we have breakdown in our forecheck, we have breakdown in our PK, we have breakdown in our power play, we have breakdown in our ozone play. Every team does. It's the fastest game in the world.
Yeah.
There's not a team on the planet ever who doesn't have breakdown. That's
How much
not
a
possible.
greater challenge does that create? The game just keeps getting faster and more skilled. How much does that challenge your system?
But it challenged because you need to adjust. Like I said, you just look the league. Last year there's 25 teams were playing man on man. This year there's 12. Why is that?
Yeah.
Just a power trip? No, it's not a power trip. There's a reason, because team was starting to create ice cycling and creating more possession, and now possession is a big thing now in the league. So team adjusts, make different adjustment in their system to cut the possession. If you look at the team who allowed the less possession, they're either an elite team or they're either a team who is capable of cutting the possession.
You mentioned another thing that I think creates a challenge for any defense is teams are activating their defensemen,
Yep.
right, a lot. So how does that factor into all of this?
But that's the advantage of playing a zone.
Okay.
Because you can activate as much as you want, you cover your zone. So you don't have to chase everybody everywhere. That's the old point of having a zone. You create less movement defensively. You're in the zone coverage. It's the same thing in football. You can compare that in football. If you play a man-on-man coverage against a player who's better than you,
Yeah, you're
bad
gonna lose.
news coming. So it's the same thing.
Yeah. Is it Mario primarily that works with the blue line, or is it a collaboration? How does that all work
The
in
blue
terms
line?
of coach? Yeah.
Yeah, the D Mario is primary working with the defenseman.
Okay.
But the D zone, it's a work at 5. There's no phase of the system who's not a work at 5.
Yeah.
That's a myth in the hockey, which people are so wrong.
Yes. That's why I asked, because it's become a collaboration, right? Yeah.
Like I said, the biggest thing in your system, if your winger is too low and he give the top of the zone, you put everybody on pause. There's a say we always say in our system, you read off the head of the snake. So that's the first guy who apply pressure. If this guy doesn't give the right angle or doesn't apply pressure, you put everybody on pause. Because, okay, I'm waiting to know where you direct the play. It's the same thing on your forecheck. It's the same thing for every team, every system. That's the same. The pace of the first guy give the read to everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's not going, now we're not all waiting to know what will develop. If you apply pressure, now we do the math. Okay, this option is closed. This and this option are the two options. You close that one, I close that one. That's as simple as that. But if he's not going, okay, now they have plenty of option. Okay, we're just stay in the middle. We back up. We wait to have some direction.
Yeah.
If not, we cannot seal a guy and say, okay, I will take him, but now this guy is wide open. I cannot do that. So the first guy, the head of the snake, give the direction, and then after, everybody read off this guy. So if the winger example is not doing his job, now they take the middle of the ice. Now they have plenty of option. They have time and space. Everybody's collapsed in the middle, and we're waiting to have another head of the snake who will be able to apply pressure, and now we read off him. And now we're going. But it's every team is the same.
I want to talk to you about the other side of this, the thing that people don't see. The goal of this system, obviously, is, like you said, create pressure.
Yep.
Get possession.
Yep.
It's that simple.
That's simple.
What do your metrics say on that? What do your analytics say about how well you guys are doing that?
We went by stretch. The thing you have to understand in metrics is there's always a downside. If you want to have more possession of the rush, you will give up. You will turn the puck over more, and you will give more chance against.
Yeah.
There, and there's which team you want to pick in the league. Take the best team in your opinion, and you will see every metrics have a downside. We'll give you an example. You want to have one of the best gap in the league? No problem. You can do that, but you will be one of the worst team on the breakout under pressure, because you're gapped up. So you will allow. And I'm talking about elite team in the league who has really, really good gap. You look their metric, they're 29 on breakout under pressure, because the under pressure is not the guy who the stick lying behind you. He's right on you.
Yeah.
So now you cannot execute the play. There is no way I found, and anybody in the league did, who you can have a really, really tight gap and be the leader in the league on loose puck recovery breakout.
Yeah.
So there's always a downside. It's the same thing in your diesel. We want to be aggressive. Okay, that will create some breakdown who will give a quality scoring chance. Our metrics in terms of possession are not that bad. Our metrics in terms of giving up quality shot not numbers. We don't give numbers, but we give quality. We'll give you an example. Dallas, one of the team who apply the most pressure in the D zone, but they give quality scoring chance. Because when you press really hard, the quality of the chance they give are higher than ours, example, but they give less. So you always have what you want. You want to give less. Okay, you need to apply a lot of pressure. You want to give less quality. Well, you need to be a little bit more conservative, stay a little bit more inside. But you will give more, but less quality. But there's no way you can do everything.
So what's your philosophy on it then? What do you try to? What's the balance you try to strike?
Well, I'm big on possession.
Yeah.
I think possession is drive defense, drive offense, but most importantly, drive the confidence of your player. There's some game lately, example, we play really well. We had the puck for 4 minutes in the ozone, the opponent had the puck for 7 minutes. Our player did not feel good about themselves. Well, we played well, we won the game.
Yeah.
But they were not playing with the same confidence. You need to have a certain level of possession to have confidence. Having that said, our guys are mature enough to understand sometimes quality of opponent will dictate some possession.
Yeah.
We play against Dallas. We're not expecting to be 50-50 at the end of the game. They're one of the best team in the league, and the personnel they have, and they play with the card they have, and we're fine with that. That doesn't mean we cannot win the game. That doesn't mean they have a greater chance to win. It just means their strength will allow them to have more possession. But there's a limit at some point. If they have the puck 75% of the time, you don't touch the puck enough. It's tough to be confident. It's tough to stay patient. Last 3 shifts, I didn't have anything going on. Now I'm going on the ice. You tell me to not force the play. I get the puck. I almost feel lucky to touch it. So now I'm trying to do too much.
Yeah.
So that's the human side of it. So there's a threshold. For me, possession is a big thing. Most of the thing we teach, and when I say we teach, it's offensively or defensively, are about creating possession.
Okay.
So we talk about winning our loose puck battle because we want possession. We talk about creating some obstruction on neutral zone because that will give us possession on the breakout. We talk about being relentless on our tracking because we can force an execution of the opponent so we can create a turnover so we can have possession, or we can create a dump in which we can be first on puck and having possession. So we believe we want to take the puck away from them as quick as possible so we can have it.
2 more questions. If you had to evaluate your defensive zone play this season as a whole, then what would you say? Are you happy with it? Are there?
Yeah, there's the best year of the 3.
Okay.
There's no doubt about it.
Did want to ask about progression. Okay.
Yeah, that's we're. If you look at our defensive performance this year, there's a big progression. The tracking, I think, since mid-February, it's day and night. I think if there's something I will do differently this year, I will attack that phase of our system earlier. I think we are one of the best team. We're top 5 in the league for pressure in neutral zone. To apply pressure and denying our blue line and stuff like that. But when the opponent has possession and enter our zone, we didn't spend enough time on that. And since February we did, and the results are much better. There's more comfort, there's more cohesion. We're better. Unfortunately, we didn't do it better before, but it's not because we're not doing anything else. You know what I mean? We're working at something else. Maybe if we'll have put the time in that instead of something else, I would be sitting here and tell you we should have worked on this before, but it is what it is.
Last thing for you then. I know you always go into the off season with a long list of things you want to work on. Anything within the defensive zone structure or system that you think you might tweak, or are you happy with where it is?
No, in the D zone, no, I don't think we will change anything. I think we're comfy. They will have a few fundamental stuff on the way we want to battle and different stuff. They will definitively have a few stuff on the tracking. We like our neutral zone forecheck. I don't think that will change. Our ozone forecheck will have to be better. We'll need to make some tweak there. We get attacked with a little bit too much speed at sometimes, and The speed is not built at your blue line.
No.
The
Through the
speed
neutral
is,
zone,
is,
yeah.
is through the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And when we are in the neutral zone forecheck, meaning we are on the right side of it and we're applying pressure, we're really good. But when they attack off the rush, so often you're in your own zone, you lose the puck. Now you're chasing them, basically. We need to be better at that.
Okay. Thank you for joining me, Andre, on another edition of Bear Necessities. That was an educational one, so thank you very much.
You bet.